It is certainly the most picturesque and arguably the most popular round of the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series, the FMF Steele Creek GNCC. There is the Steele Creek Bridge. A little dry this year, but don't worry. If you don't like the weather at a Grand National Cross Country event, just wait. It'll change. Let's get back to the highlights of our previous event, the AMSOIL race recap of the General GNCC, brought to you by Specialized. Walker Fowler going to grab the whole shot on his Walker Fowler Racing Yamaha. And this is the one thing that the rest of the field wishes would change, and that's the dominant level performance by Fowler. Went out, won the opener a week earlier in Florida, and was quickly checking out from the field here in Georgia. Usual suspects up front early. And Cole Richardson, Chris Borich in the mix. Good start, by the way, for Devin Feehan. There is Richardson stalling, getting stuck for a moment. And these trees will bite you. A good battle all day long, but for second, third, fourth, fifth, and beyond, you had Adam McGill in there, Borich, Richardson. Here's McGill making it happen. And a good chase pack here, with Richardson leading them around. McGill snaking his way through the trees. Borich looking for some alternate lines. Richardson goes through. Bryson Neal, of course, in the hunt on the number 4. Fowler continuing to roll out front and would go on to take the win, 2 for 2 in 2019 for the defending series champ. McGill would lead Borich home, so the veterans rule on the podium today, holding off the young guns of Richardson and Neal, who had finished 4th and 5th. Some familiar faces up on the podium as we look at the Rocky Mountain ATV MC results. Let's catch up with Walker Fowler. Again, 2 in a row to start the season.
Of course, and I have a little bit of bad blood, and I just, looked at some leprechauns out there on the track and decided we were going to find the pot of gold here at the end of the rainbow. And by golly, the luck of the Irish, we got a whole shot, which we needed desperately today. That's the key to this track. There's so many places to pass, but they're so spread out, and all the tight sections in between really make it challenging to pass. So I just knew if I could position myself out front, it was going to be a great day, and we got her done.
Yes, what's interesting when you talk to Fowler, even the days where it looks like it's easy, it ends up being a bit of an adventure. He has had some bad luck here and there through the years, and that's what everyone's going to count on today to try to end the win streak. Whoa, riders tangling and sideways and upside down, as Cole Richardson will be given the Weisco Whole Shot Award, but look who's on the inside. No, Richardson holding Fowler off. Fowler now gets it back as they go into the woods here at Steele Creek. Bryson Neal quickly up to 3rd, and I think that's Jared McClure in 4th. Not a good start for Borich. It's just inside the top 10. I would say some of the race strategy today, similar to what Fowler was talking about at the last event. Start's going to be critical. More on that in a minute. Let's go back to the line for the XC2 Pro-Am division. John Glauda Jr., North Carolina native, has won the first 2 races of the year. But Drew Landers going to grab that All Balls Racing Whole Shot Award. Landers has speed. Let's see if someone can beat Glauda today and tighten up the points race. Landers here in the 17 wants to be the one to do it. If you look at this trail, they've raced GNCC here for 20-some years, and it's been so dug out and so beat up and so rough. The riders will tell you that it's almost like the side of the track is an embankment. It almost forces you into the main line. Track's kind of dug in, see? So when it's dug out like that, you've got to pick your spots and wait for the open areas. There are some good field sections to make passes, but this main line is so distinctive here, and Fowler is taking advantage. And here comes the rest of the cavalry. Yeah, the fans love it. A couple of Borich bandits clearly cheering on the former champ, who's on the gas and headed to the front, trying to catch his old rival, who's fleeing today. That's Walker Fowler on the number 1.
GNCC on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
Steele Creek Campground is just packed This race gets bigger and bigger every year. Now upwards of 2,000 riders will compete throughout the weekend on ATVs, motorcycles, and electric assist mountain bikes. Classes for youth riders, vets, everything. That's what the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series is all about today. We're focusing on the ATV race. Fowler, I believe he's leading Richardson, Neal, and then McClure. Lots of ups and downs on this track. Very little of it is flat, which is distinct from the first two rounds of the series, Florida, Georgia, which don't have much elevation change, at least compared to most GNCCs, which are all about the hills. Here's Richardson on the AmPro Yamaha in second on the number 5. And he has a decent gap already over Neal. And then there's the sneaky snake on the JMR machine. That is McClure. Hey, look at this. The rookie, Hunter Hart, dominant champion of that Pro-Am class a year ago and making his presence known inside the top 5. Third race of his full-time career in the class. Here comes Boric and fellow Suzuki rider Wesley Wolf. And then a bad start for McGill, who is second at our previous race. And McGill is so hot and cold with the starts. And today's cold, and it's going to be tough to make tracks toward Fowler with a start like that. And I have to think Fowler's goal is to do exactly what he did. Don't let them see you. It's so much easier to catch the guy in front of you when you keep getting that toe. You keep seeing him up in the distance. You keep pushing. You can key off of some of the things. If you see him hit a hole, you know where to avoid it. Fowler gets just far enough out front on days like today where they cannot get a read on him. Well, now something has gone wrong because the gap is huge, much larger than we expected. Still waiting on second place. And it's changed. It's Neal now. So Richardson here has been bumped from second to fourth, and with that, an even larger lead for Fowler. Fowler over the bridge. There's the Steele Creek that the riders will actually run through in a different portion of this lap. This is an eternity how big this gap is for early in the race. And we are talking Walker Fowler, not a stranger to winning races and being dominant, but not normally like this. So this freight train, they've got a lot of work to do to try to catch up. They're going to go under a bridge right now that was built specifically for this race to get traffic in and out of the facility. And Walker making that Yamaha look good. All right, they've closed up a little bit. Actually, no. I think that might be a lap rider. Must have been a rider that had problems. You don't get lapped this early in the race. Here's that freight train battle. And no change in the running order. No change in the gap. Fowler still dominant. Oh, but this has heated up. Neal's still holding the spot. McClure and Richardson going after him. Fun to watch these guys duke it out. Wow. Well, that's the kind of pace you have to run to stay with that guy. That was amazing what Walker Fowler has done through these sections. Just so aggressive and strong on the machine. Staying on top of the bumps. This track, really two different types of soils. You get down in the valleys, it's pretty sandy, almost like sand roller whoops, and then here it's pretty square-edged. If you could stay on top of the bumps, it's smoother, but boy, is that risky. Getting it done. Still a good job by Neal there in second, taking the pit board. I believe Richardson has gotten past McClure. Still Neal in second. Got the drink bottle after a pit stop. I'm impressed, by the way, that Neal has been able to ride with that water bottle for this long and hold this crowd off. Fowler now getting into real lap traffic. We saw that one rider earlier. I think that was an anomaly. This is the real traffic, and this is probably the best chance that these three might have to catch him. They certainly have the motivation. They're trying to hold each other off. I mean, they are hauling the mail. This is Hunter Hart in the pits. That would be the rear brake area they're working on. Well, the rookie was looking strong early, but a bit of a problem now, and even though he's back underway, I don't know if he'll be at the same speed if that machine is not right. Anything can happen in off-road racing. Stay with us.
GNCC on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Specialized turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
Oh, bummer here. That is Cole Richardson taking a ride. That is not his race machine. Well, it is. It's behind, being towed in. So Richardson, who is right in the thick of this podium battle all day long, is now back in the pits and presumably out of this race. Well, we saw Hunter Hart in the pits. I believe they were working on the rear brake, or the rear brake lever when he came into the pit area. Then we see Richardson out, so it does give you an idea of how quickly things can change. Now Bryson Neal is a bit on his own in second and hoping that some bad luck befalls Walker Fowler that could get him up front. Hang on to that thing, Jared McClure. Quad's bouncing all over the place, and that gets scary when you have trees on both sides of the trail. But that's why these guys are the best in the business. There's the lap traffic, and you can see how much it is impeding Fowler. Here's Bryson Neal. We will see how he plays this. He doesn't have Richardson pushing him anymore and a little bit of a lead on McClure and everyone else. So will he have hammer down mentality to go after Fowler, or is he going to settle for second today? More lap traffic. Wow, that's an old Honda 400EX there. And another rider cheering Fowler on. I think that's McGill making a late run after the bad start. Maybe an outside shot at the podium today. And I feel like just a little bit of the aggression and the intensity now starting to go away. This track is rough. It's a long 2-hour race, and these boys are getting tired. If you're Fowler, you run the hard pace early. If you get a little fatigued, you can take a little something off down the stretch. Great ride here for Bryson Neal on the Land Mills XC Hauser Racing CST tires Yamaha, but it's a Walker Fowler racing machine with Walker Fowler on it, taking the win, and he's 3 for 3 in 2019.
Yeah, you know, we got off to another fantastic start, and that's been the key to the first 3 races. We didn't get the whole shot money, but we went into the woods first. Cole Richardson drove it in hard on that second corner and got the money, but you know, he was pushing me hard there the first probably 5 or 6 miles, and you know, I was feeling good. Just trying to battle, you know, just early race fatigue, and your heart rate goes from, you know, 120 to 220 real quick. So, you know, it definitely is a challenge the first couple laps, but we try to get out there, just make smart lines, try to eliminate big mistakes early, make it to that second hour of the race, and then that's when the fight's on. Yeah, it was a good day, that's for sure.
Rocky Mountain ATV MC results: Neal second over McClure. McGill a late run for 4th ahead of Boric. Hunter Hart recovers from his problems. Shout out to Johnny Gallagher 7th. Here is Neal.
Oh yeah, we finally nailed that start. We started going to the woods. So pumped on that. I almost didn't know what to do. I rode really complacent the first lap, and I was just like, what do I do? I'm not usually here. And I rode a little tight, and at the end of the second lap, I started coming on and started hitting my marks, and Cole let me by, and man, we was just rolling good, and just try to stay smart. This track was really tough, up and down, the braking bumps. It was just a gnarly track. I think it's honestly a little bit rougher than Florida, but all in all, we're happy that we finished second today, and looking forward to Camp Coker.
That'll be a rough one, the sand race in South Carolina. Hard-earned podium today for the JMR racing rider. That is Jared McClure. There he is. Let's talk to him for third.
Yeah, actually ended up lining up like one of the last guys due to a couple bad races there early on, but pulled a great start. You know, Baldwin motor, I got a fresh head on there, thing ripped out of there, Max's tires hooked, and man, I was almost fighting for the whole shot, which is rare for me. So I was glad though, because definitely, I think you could ask any of these guys, this track here is one where you need to start. So it was nice being out front all day. Walker really ran away from us there in the beginning, and it kind of ended up being a battle for second between Bryce and Cole and myself. We just went at it for a while, and then Cole actually crashed pretty bad over here, hit a tree. Stopped checking on him. It was bad. I hope he's all right. And then tried to run Bryson down, but I opted to not pit again. We went a little longer than 2 hours, but you know, I know the Honda with that IMS tank could do well over an hour 20. So excited to be on the podium again.
That's just straight grit, that ride right there. Let's give you the AMSOIL race recap. Yeah, they line up in order of points, and not good ones at the first couple of rounds. Oh, that was actually McGill. Sorry, that's why McGill had such a bad start. It was a mid-pack start turned into a last-place start, and not a good one, as you heard from McClure either. It was Richardson and Neal giving chase early to Fowler. Fowler quickly got away. A little bit of lap traffic to deal with. Some of them were actually fans. Battle was on the rest of the way. A good charge for McGill to try to get to McClure and Bryson Neal for the podium. Richardson went out with mechanical problems. At one point, McGill there was ahead of McClure. McClure able to claw his way back. And smooth sailing for the champion, Walker Fowler, making it look good today. And if you didn't see Fowler up ahead, you would think Bryson Neal was dominant in this run. He got away from everyone else. There's McClure eventually able to clear McGill. Mechanical problems for several riders. That includes Hunter Hart, who was running in a top 5 position early on. The rookie would recover, though, for 6th. Get a drink while you're at it. There's Richardson, we mentioned. He went out with mechanical problems. He was running in the top 3 at the time. FMF PowerPoint. Toughest section of the track. Not tough for Fowler. He's got the FMF exhaust on his machine, and he goes on to win the FMF Steele Creek GNCC. If he's going to get the 4-peat, he'll have to do it in the sand of South Carolina. Let's put the spotlight on XC2. John Glauda Jr., another win. Drew Landers, Wyatt Wilkin with him on the podium. There's Landers with that whole shot check. For everyone at Racer TV, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching this FMF Steele Creek GNCC.